Hello, everyone. So, today I thought I'd talk about a topic that gets used quite a bit. And I think it's something that a lot of us have been experiencing over the last while. And it's a topic of dark night of the soul, not to be confused with depression. Sometimes it can be one and the same thing, but everybody is quite unique. But for all intents and purposes, today I'm talking about the dark night of the soul in a sense of, sorry, the computer's doing something funny here. A dark night of the soul in a sense of this feeling, this phase that you find yourself in. Now, when I had my first dark night of the soul, this was about 100 years ago. And what I found it to be in a nutshell for me is that a dark night of the soul is a collision between your truth, what has been your truth, colliding with your new reality that's coming into being. So essentially, it's a spiritual evolution. And I don't mean spiritual as in woo-woo spiritual. I mean spiritual as in your soul. Your soul is going through a rebirth, an evolution. And that phase is as messy and horrible as anything, right? Now, going back to when I went through mine 100,000 years ago, I will never forget this because my life was pretty normal. I was your regular muggle, doing the muggle thing. And suddenly things in my life just started to go to hell. Things happened in my career, my relationships, everything just seemed to just go to shit, for want of a better way of saying it. And I remember it was so bad. I was in a corner. I was backed into this tiny little space where I felt like I had no choice, no option. And I was so down and so dark that I just didn't want to wake up. And I will never ever forget this because the stress I was under, trying to keep everyone together, keep my life together, keep the world turning for everyone around me was enormous. And what happened was, I will never forget this, and this is such a turning point for me, was I had during that weekend what I thought, well, it must have been a nervous breakdown. I was as dizzy as anything. I couldn't see straight. I couldn't stop crying. And I stayed in bed the whole weekend, literally slept the entire weekend. For those of you who know me, that's nothing like me. I'm normally get up, go, 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 do things, proactive, busy, problem solver, get shit done. That's me. That weekend, not a chance. And I will never forget, in my mind, I just literally didn't want to ever wake up. That's how bad I was. That's how bad I felt. And if I wasn't such a wuss, I would have probably taken my own life. That's how bad it was. But I'm such a naff that would never have taken tablets or done anything drastic. But not that I'm saying some people don't get to that point. I don't want to make light of that. But I was too much of a wuss to do that. I just thought, well, let me sleep. At least when I sleep, I don't hurt. When I sleep, I don't suffer. I'm not in pain when I sleep. So I slept the whole weekend. And I'll never forget the Sunday morning, I woke up feeling exactly the same. And I just laid there thinking, why? What the hell? What the fuck? Sorry for my French, but that's how it was. It was that bad. I'm not going to go into gory details of everything I was going through, but when I say it was bad, it was bad. You name it. Whatever could have gone wrong in my life was going wrong badly. I had no control over anything, none. And in line there, I heard this voice. It was a very masculine, very male voice. And loudly the voice said, "Get up. Nobody is coming to save you." Well, that was the point where my life changed, seriously. And I just had the sense of, well, okay, I got nothing else to do. And that's exactly what I did. I got up, I showered, and I brushed my teeth for the first time in 3 days. And I put my clothes on, and I went downstairs and I cleaned my house. From top to bottom, I cleaned my house. I felt very weak. I felt tired, but I just felt that this is what I had to do. And skip forward many years, and here I am today. So the point of my story, when hindsight, when I look back there, was that I was going through a collision of my old reality and my new truth that was trying to come in. And when those two collide, it's like a black hole is created. And in this black hole, there's only potential for new to come forth. Because after that happened, I realized that I could either sit here and cry about it and be a victim and woe is me and let life happen to me, or I could get up because nobody's coming to save me, and I went into cause mode where I started to make decisions and I started to take charge and I started to make things happen. And as a result, slowly but surely, my life started to change because I realized that in that moment when I was so down and so dark, I had no one that was coming to save me. Nobody was going to come to me and say, oh, shame, Debbie, flip, that's awful. I'm so sorry for you. Let me do it for you. You know, nobody was coming to save me. And I don't mean this to sound like I'm victim shaming. I am literally recounting what I went through. And in hindsight, this was a dark night of the soul. It was the grand collision between the old reality and my new reality that was being birthed through me. And my life has never been the same since. So my advice to you here, if you're experiencing this, because this is a hell of a messy period, it is very trying and very testing. And how you navigate this would be to check in and see what have you been doing up until this point that is clearly not working, right? Identify what those patterns are, and then think about what can you do to create a different pattern of behavior, a different way of being, a different way of doing things. And when you ask yourself those questions, let me tell you, it means your soul is ready to step into that new empowered version of yourself. So the answers will come. I can promise you that they will, okay? And always we're supported by spirit. We're always supported by the universe. And when our soul goes through this massive evolution, our hands are always held through that. I can tell you that. You're never alone in this, right? But let me tell you, if you're waiting for somebody to come and save you, nobody is coming to save you. The best savior is you. You've got to look to yourself for how you can do this, right? So literally get up, dress up, show up, and save yourself. So I hope that makes sense there. I didn't prepare any sort of script as I ever do with these sort of videos. I just completely wing it. But yes, it was a very, very difficult, very messy period. And I became super sensitive and hyper aware to everything in my life that was not working. Everything. Right down to my relationships, to my thought patterns, to patterns of behavior, even down to food I was eating that it just didn't agree with who I was becoming. You see? So, and the analogy Spirit is giving me here is the age-old, brilliant analogy for transformation is a butterfly. When we are that little hoho, we're still a little caterpillar, we eat certain things, we're on the ground, that's how we are. And then when it's time for us to evolve, we go into that cocoon, that dark place where everything is messy. We fall apart inside this cocoon and we turn to mush and we think, oh my God, the world is over, I'm dying, this is awful. Meanwhile, we're busy evolving into that butterfly. And when we become the butterfly, we cannot go back to who we used to be. So therefore, that's why I'm saying you'll find your patterns will change. Relationships that were once satisfying might not be. You might decide to walk away from relationships, whether it be marriages, siblings, parents, whatever. You'll feel the urge to walk away from what does not serve you, because what the caterpillar used to do and eat and how the caterpillar used to exist, the butterfly doesn't. The butterfly is completely different, right? So you'll find as you become the butterfly, out of that messy, yucky, dark place, your needs will be different. For a start, you're not going to be sitting on a tree eating leaves. You're now going to go after the nectar and flowers. You're not going to be on the ground anymore. Now you're going to be flying. You're not going to be even fat and puffy like a caterpillar. You're going to be as light as a butterfly with these gorgeous wings. So a dark night of the soul is a rebirth, and it's a massive collision between your old reality and who you're becoming. And that process is messy and it's hard. But you can and you will get through it when you remember that you are your own best savior. Don't wait for somebody else to do it. Don't wait for someone else to come and save you. It doesn't mean other people can't hold your hand. It doesn't mean you can't go for therapy and support, of course, but ultimately you're the one doing the work. You're the one who is the architect of your own life. You are the one that is making choices and decisions as to what your next steps are going to be and what path you're going to take flight on. You are the director of your life. Right. So I hope that makes sense, and I hope that lightens the load a little bit of how that journey can be, that dark night of the soul, because in simple terms, it really is messy. But ultimately, it's the collision. It's the who you were and the who you're becoming. So I hope that helps, and I hope it gives you some light. And let me know if that's what you're going through. Let's share. Let's help one another through these things, because it's not for sissies. But just remember, you are the director. You are the boss. You are your own savior. You can do this. And if stupid me can do it, then of course you can. So I'm sending you so much love, and thank you as always for being here, and have an amazing week. Take care then. Bye.